another hockey parenting one-on-one video. Today's video I'm going to talk about the hockey stick. Hockey stick, obviously you need a stick to play hockey. There's many different kinds of sticks. We're going to get into that. We're going to talk about all the things you need to know as a parent about the sticks. So when your child starts playing, they may not know what hand they want to use. There's different curves. There's a right-handed stick versus left-handed stick. Funny story about that. So the stick type is typically it's opposite of what you think. So if you ever see a street hockey stick in Walmart, you'll see Walmart or like a department store, you'll see a bunch of what are called right-handed sticks. And I think that they purchase those sticks because the majority of the population in the world, I think, you could say is right-handed. There's very few left-handed folks with dominant left hand. Like myself, I'm a left-hand dominant, which is funny because right-hand stick is the stick that I should be using. And the reason for that is and what I mean by right hand and left hand, let me back up a little bit. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. So I don't know if you can see this stick. This is my stick, one of my sticks. This is a right-handed blade. So it actually curves to the left if you have it in front of you, looking at it from like down the blade. It curves to the left, and that's a right-handed stick. If it's a left-handed stick, it would curve opposite of what I'm showing you. It would curve to the right. The sticks are made to use whatever your dominant hand as your top hand. That's normally your dominant hand. So for myself, I'm left-handed, so I use a right-handed stick. So when I'm using the stick, I actually put my hand here, like my top hand, which is my left hand, to use this stick. Again, blade curves to the left. So, but this is considered a right-handed stick. Now, back to the department store thing. I think that when department stores like Walmart and Target purchase sticks, anytime they have like street hockey sticks, they assume when they're buying right-handed sticks, they're buying them for right-handed players because that's their majority of their customers are right-handed. That is not true. That is opposite. And what's crazy is that for my kids, and I didn't really know this, when I was younger, I bought street hockey sticks and I would play with a right-handed stick, and I just assumed that I was stuck. Like when I go try to buy golf clubs at like Walmart, I'm left-handed, I'm looking for left-handed clubs, they never have any. So I just assumed with hockey sticks it was the same way, so I just lived with buying a right-handed stick. I couldn't get to a pro shop. There were no pro shops, they didn't have Hockey Monkey when I was a kid, so I had to buy what was available, which is crazy because that's exactly the stick I needed. So I just assumed that when I started buying sticks for my kids that they needed right-handed sticks because both of them are right-handed. Should have bought them left-handed sticks because their right hand is their top hand, should be their dominant hand, and should be their top hand on their stick. But both of them play opposite. They play with right-handed sticks, which I would say is not a huge deal. It's just I didn't give them an opportunity to choose. I just gave them the right-handed stick. When your child starts playing at a young age, especially learn to skate, quite often the rinks, the associations will have neutral sticks, which is a flat blade, so your child can figure out on their own how they want to do it, what is most comfortable for them. So that is a great way to figure out without forcing them to do either or one or the other, for them to decide. And once you figure out how they feel comfortable with where their top hand, what they've chosen, either right or left hand as their top hand, then you can start purchasing sticks. And like I said, it's super easy to get sticks now because there are many pro shops around rinks if your kid's playing hockey, ice hockey, and then there's also ways to get them online. All right, so we talked about left-handed versus right. Top hand's normally dominant. Let's talk about length next. So length it matters a lot. You don't want a stick for your child that's too short or too long. Easy rule of thumb is you can have them. You don't even have to have them put on skates. But if you take the stick and you put it like on the ground, and you have them stand up next to it like you're almost measuring their height, but you're measuring it with a stick. Let me back up here. So you can see this stick here, it when I'm standing up, it's like right at my nose, which is great. That's typically you want it around your nose when you're standing up in shoes. And then another way to figure out where they're going to be on skates, or just a rough estimate, you can go on your tiptoes, have them go on their tiptoes, and the stick on their tiptoes should be no shorter than up to their chin. You're probably looking for something mid nose to chin, like around the mouth area, when they're on their tiptoes. When they're just on their feet, it should be at their nose or above their nose. So, and then it can vary a little bit based on how your child skates. If they skate more upright, you might want a longer stick. If they skate like really low to the ground, like they really get a good hockey position squat while they're skating, their stick might be a little shorter. But those are good rule of thumbs to start with. And then once they get comfortable, they'll be able to tell you what's working for them. The other next thing to talk about sticks are composite versus wood. So most sticks now in the rink are composite, and they're composite material. When I started playing, at least street hockey, younger, you'd have aluminum sticks with a wood blade. Mostly wood sticks though. Everyone's favorite back when I was a kid was the Sherwood Paul Coffee stick with a great curve, but they were mostly wood back then. But now most sticks are composite. You still find some wood sticks, which are perfectly fine, especially at a younger age. If you're not sure your child's going to want to continue on playing, it's definitely a great option because it's a lot cheaper than composite sticks. So nothing wrong with wood starting out. As they get older or more comfortable or more interested playing, I should say, then you want to look at composite sticks. And then composite sticks price range, they range, just like any other piece of hockey equipment. They range from manageable in price to, now you're getting a moderate price range to expensive sticks. Back when in my skates video, I talked about, you don't need to get your youth hockey player a $500 pair of skates. I'll say the same thing with sticks. One thing about sticks though is they get more expensive. They get lighter. The materials they make are stronger but lighter, so there is a little bit of an advantage there, I would say. So it's up to you. I don't pay no more than about $100 for my youth player stick right now. I'm sure that'll change a little bit. My oldest, by the time he was finished, he was buying $150, $200 sticks, but he was helping me out with that at that point. Material stick, like I said, material mostly composite, light, heavy. There's different weights of the sticks, different tackiness. There's like this stick is a matte stick. It's like smooth, I guess, and there are tacky sticks. I don't like them, but that's personal preference, so you can figure that out with your child. What else about sticks? So flex. So the flex of your hockey stick is how easy it is to bend. So for example, this stick here is a 75 flex. A Zdeno Chara stick, I don't know if you know Zdeno Chara, but NHL player, just retired, like 6'8", 9, big dude. His sticks were 100 plus because he's like so big. He can flex a 100 flex stick. I cannot with my body weight. So 70. The rule of thumb is that you want to flex that's about half your player's body weight. So I'm about 170 pounds. So this is 75. That's a little bit less. I could probably get away with an 85 flex stick, but I prefer to have an even more flexible stick just because my shot's not that great and my technique's not that great. So I need all the help I can get. So that's flex. Yeah, but the big rule of thumb is about half your body weight. So if your child's 100 pounds, you want like a 50 flex stick, which is difficult to find. Another interesting thing, or a thing you should know about flex, is if you get a stick, and back to the height thing, if you buy a stick that's too long, say it's a 70 flex, too long, you cut it down, you just increase the flex of the stick. Just so keep that in mind. I'm sorry, decrease the flex of the stick. So you just made it less flexible if you cut it. It's just because it's longer, shorter lever, so it's going to be harder to flex. So just keep that in mind when you cut. If you buy a stick, that when you cut it, you're gonna change the flex of the stick. Other things to talk about with sticks, kick point. So kick point, back to flex. The kick point would actually be like when you bend the stick, where the kick point's at. Most sticks are mid kick point, so when you're flexing it, it flexes like towards the middle. If you get a kick point that's a low kick point, it would hit the ceiling here. It would flex like around in here, like towards the blade. It's just, and the different kick points impact the shots in different ways. I would say most sticks are mid kick point, and that's just fine for your player. Stick lie is another thing. There's different lies based on, and that's just how the blade angle with the shaft angle meet. So a lower lie, it would be more flat. I think that's right. And then the higher lie would be more upright. So if your player plays lower to the ground, you'd want a lower lie angle. And if you want, like, if your kid's more of a stand-up, it would be higher lie angle. I would tell you that most sticks in the pro shop, they range between like 5 and 6. I think 5 is just fine. Again, it's your child, once they start playing and they get into a comfortable area, where they figured out how they're going to play, that's when you can start fine-tuning those things. But when you're buying a stick off the shelf or a hockey monkey, I wouldn't pay too much of the kick point / lie. I don't think it's that important, at least at a youth age. It's not that important. They got to learn how to shoot yet. Once they start learning how to shoot, and then they can fine-tune that kind of stuff. Curve, we talked about curve, like general, like there's right versus left curve. There's different kinds of curves. There's like deep curves, like, this is a I think this is a Patrick's cane blade type. It's got a pretty good curve. Midpoint curve, it's closed face. There's different kinds of curves. That's pretty self-explanatory. There's open versus closed face. Open face, and what I mean by open face, at the top of the blade, or at the end of the blade, near the toe, if it's open toe, the blade will kind of twist open at the top. That's to help with wrist shots close to the net, like roofing it. This one's more closed, so I'm more worried about just general slap shot or wrist shots in the slot and stuff. I'm not generally worried about trying to go bar down like near the net. Not good enough. So don't care. So open versus closed face, again, personal preference. My daughter's got an open face stick right now, just slightly open. Round versus squared toe. So if you can see the toe here, this is a rounded toe. That's what you see on most players' sticks. There is a flat toe, which is just like squared off at the end. I think those are made for defensemen, or if you're doing a lot of play near the boards, like you can stick your stick flush to the board with a square toed blade. So again, personal preference. It's not going to impact your player's shot or stick handling too much. Square versus round toe. Tape styles. So you can see I got this hockey tape. Hockey tape's made to put on the sticks. You can see here I got tape on my blade. I got the blade mostly taped. You can get the blade where it's like half, just the toes taped. You can get it all the way up. You can get it like the toes not taped, but the sweet spot, so to speak, where you want your puck to be. You can have it just taped there, but tape is important on the blade because it's protecting the blade from wear and tear. It keeps the blade, it helps the blade last longer, the tape, and it's also provides some tackiness for stick handling because these sticks are pretty smooth, so it provides some tackiness when you manipulating the puck and putting spin on the puck when you're shooting. And then tape, obviously put some tape on the end of the blade to help with holding the stick with your glove. This is just regular white tape, white hockey tape. I think this is Howie's hockey tape. There's different tape brands, but it's standard hockey tape. You can also, there are different kinds of grips you can buy. You can buy like a grip that you can heat shrink on it, which is a tacky rubber grip. It's expensive. I don't recommend it. Just buy some tape and tape up your kid's stick. You can candy cane it. Candy cane, I mean, my daughter likes the candy cane her stick. That's just, it doesn't do anything. It's just for looks, but she tapes all the way down, like in a candy cane style, all the way down to the blade. So you can do that. Last thing with tape, stick wax. I haven't mentioned stick wax yet. So there's some stuff called stick wax, and it's wax. It's a type of wax that players can use to wax their blade. It's only meant for the blade. It does a couple things. One, it provides a waxy coating, so your tape job will last longer because it's protecting against the snow and the water buildup. It'll not wick it away, but it'll provide a barrier so your tape lasts longer. It does provide more tackiness. It flattens out the tape. It does provide more tackiness, so I think it'll give you a little bit more advantage versus not waxing as far as putting spin on the puck or just handling the puck. But I wouldn't say it's necessary. Neither of my kids ever use stick wax. It smells good, but other than that, it's again personal preference, not necessary. So I think that's it on the stick. Hopefully this helps you if you're struggling to figure out what to do as far as getting a stick for your kid. I enjoyed doing this video. I'm enjoying doing these videos. I hope you guys are enjoying the videos. If you are, please subscribe. Hit that like button. If there are things you want me to talk about, just put them in the comments. And if there's things I can improve on or things I'm missing, please let me know, and I can come back and I can edit my videos and fix that stuff. But just trying to pay this forward. Just a hockey parent trying to pay it forward. Appreciate it. Out here.